Welcome to episode 27 of About the Cards podcast, live tonight on YouTube. As always, welcome back. Stefan Loeffler at Junkwax Twins finally made it back. Ben Wilson at our trading cards, and I'm Tim Shepler at Big Shep 79. We are a podcast by collectors for collectors, and we hope to bring you a smart, insightful podcast discussing trading card collecting. Remember, we're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time when we choose to show up on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at About the Cards. We're also available on iTunes and Stitcher, and here on, again, YouTube. So search About the Cards Pod on all three of those platforms. Remember to follow and subscribe, and that way you'll know when we are live and we're ready to rock and roll. And you'll get the recordings after the show's over. So, guys, Steph was here. All I see is a black screen now. He's disappeared.
I'm trying to eat.
Oh, okay. He was in a cardboard collector's camp. He got swooped up in a sweep down there in Texas, but he got freed. Yep. So it's good to have him back. We're glad to have him back. Ben, how's your week been, buddy?
It's been all right. Took a little bit of time off of work, and so been spending time with the boys. And hasn't been too bad. Getting ready for obviously, next week.
Oh yeah, next week the big guy comes. We're not talking about. Well, never mind. Steph, you had a good week, couple weeks. We've missed you.
Yep, you guys dragged me out of the pit that I was in. I got abducted by better suitors. It's okay, guys. I'll be back. No, I had some surprise family pop in, and last week I went to my first NBA game. So
nice.
It was that.
Too bad it was a Dallas Maverick game. I mean, if you went up to San Antonio, that's something I can respect.
Yeah, Luka.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably a fun kid to watch, but hey, you're in the right state, but that's the wrong team.
Well, at least he doesn't have to watch the Rockets in that show. Ugh.
Right.
Those poor fans.
That's amazing how terrible they are this year compared to expectations. Oh, I love it too.
I do too.
I've hated the Dallas Mavericks and the Houston Rockets for forever. So to me, it's funny. Cute.
Yep. Well, let's hop right into it. The week that was last week's releases. We had a ton of releases. We had an interesting Topps Living week last week, the 40th week. The numbers didn't come out. We had the week 41 cards come out pretty early this week, an hour or two before week 40 ended. But we haven't got any updates on numbers. Reminder, it was Nolan Ryan, pitcher of the Texas Rangers, AJ Minter, rookie pitcher of the Braves, and Harrison Bader, rookie outfielder of the Cardinals. So hopefully next week after Christmas, we will have the update on what the numbers were for week 40. But I don't expect it to be very good, except for Nolan Ryan. I expect him to be close to 7,000 cards, but we shall see. We also had 2018 Panini Extra Edition Baseball, 2018 Panini Playbook Football, 2018 Leaf Metal Draft Baseball, 2018 Topps Transcendent Collection, which I know that Ben bought a few cases of. He sold his house. He's now homeless, but he has cases of Transcendent. 2018-19 Panini Revolution Basketball, and the big one, the big guy, 2018 Bowman Draft Baseball. So it was a prospector's glory hole week. So hopefully you guys have money left over for the holidays or just to pay your bills after that week. But I was able to pick up a really good set from a good friend, Mike Summers, a Bowman Draft baseball paper, which I was really happy for, and shipped it out in a couple of days, and I have it now. I'm excited. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate the offer. So we're going to hop into hot off the presses this week's releases, just get going. There's only a couple. I was really excited for this Topps Living week 41, due to card number 121, the one and only, the greatest catcher of them all, Buster Posey, San Francisco Giants. He's our third Giant. Card 122, Jorge Alfaro, catcher, Philadelphia Phillies. He's the seventh Philly. And card one, ex-Ranger prospect, and the big deal for Cole Hamels. Card 123, David Peralta, outfielder, Arizona Diamondbacks. He's our third Diamondback. Sadly, we'll never get a Paul Goldschmidt Diamondback one.
No rookies.
No rookies this week. We had two rookies last week. After the week before was the worst week we've ever had. And the Phillies are chasing down the Yankees and Dodgers for most cards in the set. Yankees with 9, Dodgers with 8, Phillies with 7. Why do the Phillies have so many cards, guys?
Because they're kind of like on that bubble of being a really good team and being a trash team.
East Coast bias has to come in there a little bit. I mean, it is a big market team. I mean, it's not altogether surprising, and with a lot of their traction this offseason, it doesn't surprise me that the Phillies have a lot of support in this set. As if you told me they were that 5th to 7th highest team, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Once you get past the Yankees and Dodgers and Red Sox, why not the Phillies in that next tier? Obviously, the Cubs at the top as well.
Well, I mean, the Red Sox, the Red Sox and Braves have 6, and the Cubs have 6. But like, I don't know. Like, I think that the St. Louis Cardinal fans are maybe better baseball fans. I mean, they only have 5 cards, and 4 of them are rookies, and one of them was Paul DeJong. Like, we talked about that last week. I mean, they probably have that. They have probably 5 of the saddest cards of the set.
Well, and yeah, we talked about that last week. How much their lineage is. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Is it doesn't matter if say the Marlins, the Rays, the Rockies, these teams that have only been around for
the D-backs, the
Diamondbacks, teams that have been around 30 years or less. Even if you go back to the teams that came along in the 70s, like the Mariners, and you go all the way back to the Twins and even the Mets in the 60s, their lineage isn't nearly as long as the Cardinals. And to suggest that the Cardinals haven't had 3 or 4 average names, the guys that are Hall of Very Goods or fan favorites, as a secondary third guy on the checklist this week would have been good.
Yeah. No, and then the Tigers, Royals, Indians all have 3 cards. There's a big tier with, or 2 cards, I'm sorry, and there's a big tier of 3 cards. So the disparity is still there. But what are you going to do? I bought 6 posies myself this week. There was being no rookie. And so, no big deal, right? I think it's just going to be an average week. I don't think it's going to be one of the worst weeks. I think it'll be a little bit better than the last few. So, also this week, 2018 Panini Donruss Optic Football, which I think they need to add Prism in there somewhere, and maybe Spectra, like Donruss Optic Prism Spectra Football would be like a good release.
Sure.
We're looking at $110 a box, 20 packs per box, 4 cards per pack. So I mean, it goes on the same lines like as the old Topps Chrome. 1 autograph card per box, 4 inserts, and you're going to get 10 of each of the following: 10 rookies, 10 rated rookies, and 10 parallels. There's a 199 card base set. First 100 are vets. The next 50 or 49 are rookies, and then the final 49 or 50 are rated rookies. So those are going to be all your offensive players. 13 vet parallels, 18 rookie parallels. So there's a hell of a rainbow you can build. There's also, I think, some FOT, some first off the line with this. There's 15 autograph sets, a couple mem, and over 10 insert sets. So it's the Donruss cards just with the optic technology, a little shinier, a little better card stock, a little chromium added. But,
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Donruss and Optic. However, we've talked about this in the past. There's no reason for, in the baseball side, there to be both Donruss and Optic. If I was a football collector, I would definitely be all over this set because it's affordable for one, and personally, I like the overall design. So I've always been a Donruss fan. So that probably comes from my collecting era, growing up in the 80s when Donruss was around and at the height. But as a football fan, and the colors really pop. I've seen a few of these, and I'm always a big fan of the Detroit Lions, the New York Jets. I think those colors pop really well in cards.
Yeah, and then we also have this week coming out, if you didn't get enough Bowman last week, 2018 Bowman's Best Baseball comes out this week. About $116 a box. You're going to get 12 packs per master box. There's too many boxes, and each pack has 5 cards per pack. So I wouldn't buy mini boxes, I think, on their own. I would rather buy the master if you're going to do it. You're getting 4 autograph cards and 1 atomic refractor base parallel per master box break. There's only 99 cards set. It's 100. The first 70 cards are vets and rookies. The next 29 are numbered TP1 through TP29. 29 top. They're all top prospects. You're getting 10 parallels, and there's over 5 autograph sets. It was 5, or it was like 6 or 7, and then 4 insert sets. So again, just another Bowman set for
you to waste your money on.
Yeah, you to check out. So
say that out loud. Did I say that out loud? I said that out loud.
Yeah, you did. So just another set for Ben to collect. So for his A's, I don't know how many A's are on the checklist. I didn't.
I'm pulling that up actually right now. I was curious.
Yeah,
Bowman draft.
Yeah, no, for Bowman, best of Bowman.
Bowman best only has 2. Two.
It used to be an insert set, that was in Bowman.
There's only 70 in the checklist total.
2 and 1 insert.
One insert. Yeah, Jesus Luzardo. It shouldn't be more than 3 should be the max for any team since there's only 70.
Yep. Matthew S. put a nice little comment here. The more the new Panini products I see, the less I like it.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, and as Steph's wearing his Panini shirt tonight, I have agree. I mean, I think with the football stuff, they just have so many releases.
Sure. That
they kind of consume each other. I think that was an issue with basketball last year, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite and best sets and more sets from the previous from this year later tonight. So
you say that, Ben, but the Yankees have 9 cards.
You're kidding me? Are you serious?
I bet the Royals don't have any.
So everybody has 2, and then the Yankees just get the rest. Cool.
Gotcha. The Kansas City Royals have. Let me see here: Dodgers, Angels. Royals have 1.
Ooh, who is it?
Merrifield. The Yankees have not the Mets. McCutcheon, Judge, Severino, Gregorius, Chapman, Frazier, Andujar, Torres, and Stanton. And a top prospect. And an early indication. 2 power producers.
Yeah, go Yankees. I mean, the last time they won a World Series was...
I know. Think of all those 6 or 7-year-olds who've never seen the Yankees win a World Series.
It's been longer than that, right?
2009?
Yeah, 8 or 9. Yeah, something like that. It's been a while. Good. So what's brewing next week's releases, guys? Just a couple. 2018 Leafs Best of Football was supposed to come out this week, got pushed back to next week, and then 2018-19 Panini Contenders Basketball. And these are both Friday releases due to a holiday.
Is that a 17-18 set?
No, 18-19. But it's Contenders Basketball. And the reason I say basketball is because we have a little thing in Infield chatter here. We're inside the red zone as we talk football. In our Hobby Talk section, we're going to talk about Contenders football this year. So just a couple of releases next week. So again, I'm going to short, quick week on that.
Sure.
So as I mentioned, 2018 Contenders football. Okay. So I saw this in retail real quick. Let's address Matthew's question here real quick. I'm sure I missed it, but what's the story behind the Halos hat? Oh, my Wally Joyner. So, huge Royals fan, tons of Royals hats behind me. But I picked this up because I've always kind of liked the hat as a kid, and it was always kind of a neat hat. And they had a sale on lids for $24. And so I just pulled the trigger on it. Plus, it irritates Ben because, they are a better team than the A's in the
have better
Western Division. They have a better player.
They have one player.
That's all they need. All he needs is Mike Trout. They do everything. They have Shohei. No, it reminds me of Reggie.
That's
Jackson.
What they decided.
Reggie Jackson and Lethal Weapon, where he was gonna kill the Queen. So yeah, it is a pretty sharp hat. I just like the cool design. Plus, it has the old school when they had the green bills on the bottom. The green bills. So, 2018 Contenders football. So a couple weeks ago, I saw, and it's been about 10 days or so, I saw it at Target, and I was like, "What the hell?" And it guarantees an auto in the box. I was like, we didn't talk about this on the show. I was like, did we miss it? I was like, Contenders football is a big release. There's no way we missed it. And so I did some looking, and at the same time, our pal from the GTS show, the web show, Watch the Breaks. I even posted that why the heck is Contenders Retail out before the FOTL, the first off the line? First off the line was for pre-sale. I believe it was today. And the retail's been out a couple of weeks, 10 days or so at least. And the hobby doesn't come out for like another 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And it's one of their bigger sets, most popular. And like, so the question's out there and everybody's like, it's quality control. It's the distributors doing whatever they want. There's a bunch of different answers. We had the same issue with Topps Archives this year. The blasters were out when it probably should have been released, and the actual hobby boxes didn't come out for months afterwards. And it was like we all got our feel and our taste of archives, and when the hobby came out, it was kind of like, I've opened some blasters. I bought the autograph, so I bought the set online. I don't need to worry about busting a box or anything. So my question is, you guys, shouldn't retail come out last?
You would think so. My question is, I'm wondering if there's something behind the scenes that we don't know about that is causing all of these releases this year in particular, since it's all but a known hobby secret that they all practically use the same printers, or they changed from one to another, but they're essentially all the same.
Yeah.
Paper shortage, issues with the machines, who knows? But it just seems that this isn't the first issue with a set being released, because distributors are going to run out whatever they have to get money. Makes sense. They're a business. But, you'd think that Panini or Topps or whoever wouldn't want if they're going to do a tiered set as they have with the first off the line, the hobby release, and then the retail release, you think they would tier them out the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So why are we seeing retail so soon?
Anybody that's worked in distribution understands. I mean, here it is Christmas season, so we'll use something Christmas related. We all get irritated when we walk into a local grocery store, local retailer that's not Walmart, and you start to see all their Christmas stuff out so early. It's there before Thanksgiving.
October.
You see the Halloween stuff right on the heels of the 4th of July, it seems like, right? This stuff is out so early. And the reason is a lot of these companies are required to buy so much, a minimum, and they have limited space. If you've ever been in the back room of a grocery store, they literally start building these new grocery stores so small in the back room to prevent them from having much backstock. It's basically truck to shelf.
Right.
And so if you got all this Christmas stuff, you've got to put it out on the floor immediately. And the reason they buy this stuff so early is to compete with Walmart specifically, because they buy so much of the stuff. So you want to get, we're all competing for the same dollar. We want to get it before Walmart does. So having said that, these distributors are getting this product in, and it's like it's on fire. It's in one door and it's got to be out the other door. There's no incentive whatsoever for them to sit on this stuff. And then that begs the question is, why does Topps or Panini allow the distributor to have early access to it? It shouldn't be in their hands before said date. Yeah. So if a hobby product is being released on the 1st, then distributors do not get it till the 3rd. That way, if they go out today and put it out, today being the 3rd, it's cool because hobby's already been out for 48 hours. Even if the idea is that hobby's released on the 1st and retail on paper isn't being released till the 8th, it's not a big deal.
I just looked back, and it was actually on the release calendar to be released before.
So that's the question, and we've seen other products, archives obviously being the big one, that's come out early. What it's doing is it's cannibalizing the hobby release. I mean, raise your hand if you had all the things you wanted out of archives after the retail release, well before the hobby release. I mean, there was exactly one card one card on the checklist that I was after, and that was a low-numbered Mark McGwire parallel, which was hobby only, numbered out of 25. And there was not an inclusion of a new autograph for the Oakland A's on the fan favorites. I know that there were a few on the checklist for other teams, so it's extremely minimal how much you want. So you put contenders out now. What are the odds of if hobby has to wait a week or two, it comes out? What are the odds of you're taking a market segment and you're shrinking it dramatically? This market segment that's already extremely small to begin with. Raise your hand. Out of the three of us, are we buying contenders? Probably not, because we collect baseball. So you're already taking three collectors in the hobby out of that particular market. It's starting to shrink with every person, and then people are going to go out and buy their retail first. And once again, hobby gets sidetracked, which hurts the LCS. It hurts the brick and mortar shops, is what it's doing.
Yeah, no, I couldn't believe that. The other question I have too on Panini is, I didn't listen to the notes, but it made me think. So in these contenders boxes, they're guaranteeing one, on average, one autograph or relic card per box. And they did the same thing with the Prism Blasters, $20 blaster of Panini Prism basketball. You're going to get, on average, one autograph or one relic per box. From what the people that have put it out on Twitter, they've been getting 150 points to Panini's awesome site.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get that maybe the blaster that's $20. Okay,
Sure.
That's better because the odds on getting hits out of blasters is enormous.
That's canonical.
But in the contenders box, I believe the contenders box they're selling is like $29 or $39, and I could be mistaken because the Target was kind of in shambles and we weren't over there a long time. But that's neat.
Mind you, this is basketball, but would you rather have free points or would you rather have that all-time worst signature?
I'd much rather have all-time worst signature.
See, that begs the follow-up question is, how are you collecting? I have a friend on Facebook who it was extremely upset when he got his hits and they were Panini points. And he's like, I just don't buy a lot. And this is what I get. I think we spoke about this a while back. The listed hits, if it's points, it does none of the three of us any good because we don't buy enough Panini to benefit.
Yeah. I mean, I got random points in a break, right?
Sure.
There was points and they random through all the teams and I ended up with the points and it was 150. There was nothing on there within 500 points that I would have wanted to add to my collection.
So let me ask this because I don't know.
Let
me ask this. I do not know. What would I need? How many points would I need to go on there and buy something that would be of good value in return for my points? Am I looking at? Can you even get something for 150 points?
Yeah,
so what is it?
You can.
I'm 250 just from on the first page, but if we go point value, the opposite direction, there's stuff for 50 points.
But what is it? Because I'm
Rudy Gay, Rodriguez. Here, let me share a screen. Hold on. Boop. Hue. Screen share. Application. Boop, boop, boop.
So while you're getting that up there is stuff I can buy. So in other words, those are any one of those are my hits.
Yeah, but you're looking. Here we go. Rodney Stuckey, total certified jersey card. Rudy Gay. It's just a Prism card of Rudy Gay. Kendall Marshall, 50 points, jersey card. Jose Calderon is a big fan here. Jordan Adams. These are guys that are out of the NBA. Josh Smith.
So it's all garbage that they're just looking to get rid of.
Yeah, now go, Steph, can you go to a higher point value? Yeah, just for a little bit.
A point value range. Here we go. Minimum 150.
And go to like 300 or there you go, 1,000. There we go.
150.
Yeah, I know this makes for great podcast listening, but we're pulling these up. So Teresio White, totally certified autograph, 150. Luke Hangarati, 150. Elliot Williams, 150. These are all autographs from totally certified, okay? Landry Fields, 150 at a black elite black box.
So
looks like
real quick, I'm going to flash a couple of cards on the screen real quick.
Hey, there's a Frankie Montez on here, a bunch of Frankie Montez. A
for
Vita
people
Blue.
listening. Yeah, which is a $5 card.
Sure.
You know, I bought this for Steph out of a $1 box. This is a Dalvin Cook jumbo patch out of $1.99. Cost me $2. I got a postseason Corey Kluber manufactured relic, $2. Jumbo Joey Bosa for the kid, just something so that he can start learning and appreciating. This is numbered out of 99, $2. In other words, at the local card shop that Tim and I go to and that we frequent,
monster boxes full of $2 relics.
Yeah, if we went out there and dropped $100, we could literally have anywhere from 50 to 100 autos and relics because he has so much crap that he's just looking to get rid of. And these aren't bad. I mean, Joey Bosa, Pro Bowler. Dalvin Cook, Pro Bowler. You know, Corey Kluber, MVP. These aren't bad players now, right? These are all recognizable players for their sports. And these are all numbered. These are nice relics. $6 total. These 3 cards on my desk are better than anything that we've seen for that $150 or less point range.
Yeah.
So if I'm buying a box and it's an $80, $100 box and I'm getting 150 points, in other words, I'm getting to choose which of this particular group I want, that $150 point, literally the market worth of that, as far as I'm concerned, is under $2.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
So, yeah, you've got to keep it and add to it in order for it to create value. But how many of these cards am I going to need to accumulate? Over 1,000 points?
Oh yeah, Steph, pull up what's a 1,000-point card look like?
Sure.
You know, we have some of these guys are just base cards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's crazy. So here we go. 1,000 points will get you a Panini hat. Okay, a dad hat. You can get Kyle Anderson preferred autographs for 1,500. Zach Mettenberger autographs for 1,500 points.
Printing plate.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you can get a Patrick Ewing Classics base card for 1,500 points. Jeremy Hill 1,500. Joik Bell 1,500.
Who are these clowns? I mean, yeah, they all had their
Trey Burke, Jose Abreu, 1,500 points. The only $1,000 thing we could get was that Panini dad hat. Bishop Sankey for 15. Get out of here, bro.
I'm curious what the highest uncut.
I mean, you start talking about Jeremy Hill and Sankey and Mettenberger.
Trey Mason autograph from certified 2,500 points. Trey Mason hasn't been in the NFL in years.
Cool this would have been a cool website in 2014.
Uncut sheets of certain sets, 10,000 points. A Kyrie Irving All-Star promotion patch, 15,000 points. 100,000 points get you some shoes signed by Blake Griffin, game worn, for 100,000 points. Andrew Luck, Rookies and Stars, 15,000 points. Autographed jersey.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, DeMarco Murray, Leanne Rhymes, 15,000 points. Yeah, save your money, folks. Zach Randolph, 15,000. Zach Randolph, 15,000.
And like we said when we were talking about it a week or two ago, I'm okay with Panini points. I'm okay with it. But if I'm opening up a box and it has 2 listed hits, I want 2 hits from said product. And then I want the Panini points to be a bonus.
Because you got shitty hits.
It could be,
so
yeah. But
get a couple more.
Yeah, I mean.
Or if you got a redemption.
Sure.
If you got a redemption in there, put some points in there, right? Like that's what they should be for. What's up, Brian? Brian Bison in the show tonight. What's up, kid? So I don't know, man. Anyway, I just thought it was funny that instead of putting something in there, they're giving you those. You can go get some old stuff of Jeremy Hill for 15,000 points.
The idea as a concept, but not necessarily an application.
Yeah, not executed the best. I want to move on. Steph sent this to me tonight. The Cuban Baseball Federation came out with a release today that they must release all players 25 25 years or older that have played 6 years of playing experience.
Ooh.
They also could release younger players in the future. They're able to sign with an MLB team without having to defect. So, guys, what do you think this could have an effect on the hobby, on baseball? What are your thoughts with all these Cuban players becoming available?
Well, and as I said in our group chat, it has serious, huge implications. Not necessarily just for the hobby, but the fact that they don't have to defect, so you don't have issues like I think it's Jose Abreu. No, one of the Cuban stars who tried to get to America 4, 5, 6 times and finally made it across. That had issues with the Cuban government. We'll start to get more of these players coming in and actually not having to risk life and limb literally to make it big. Now I don't know if it's necessarily that they have to release. I think it was like they can release if the player requests it. But it's one of those things that's how they're actually going to hammer out the details is going to be interesting in the upcoming days.
Ben, what are your thoughts?
So, the baseball writer Keith Law is a big proponent of doing away with the Major League Baseball draft in its entirety.
Sure.
Because it goes against everything that the United States of America stands for. We all can quit our job tomorrow. We all can go get a new job tomorrow. Most of us, Tim and I specifically, work in a right-to-work state, which essentially means, an employer theoretically could fire us without giving us any type of notice and doesn't really need a valid reason in order for that to go through.
Sure.
Now, the draft does keep things in order so that, it goes towards parity and things like that. Without getting too terribly far off topic, it's good because it allows these young players an opportunity to get over here to compete in the highest level of their given profession without having an issue of having to wait for years and years, and of course coming across on a boat in a back door of a steamliner kind of a thing. Just from them personally, it's a great opportunity. How it affects baseball, well, now all of a sudden there's going to be an influx of a lot more talented players such as Jose Abreu, Yoenis Cespedes. That next wave is going to be able to come over sooner. And then the other thing, as far as how this in turn, as far as how to affect the hobby is, the more of these players that come over, obviously the more it's going to affect the Bowman products the most. How soon are we going to see this? Is it going to be in time for Bowman base next year? Probably not. Bowman Chrome may or may not be affected. It'll be interesting. And then, of course, baseball has to decide, is this going to be included in the international signing bonus or this international pool money is what I meant to say. Or are these going to be just traditional free agents? So, there's still some ironing. But once these guys start playing or signing, you're going to start to see cards immediately, which is definitely going to, affect our hobby.
Well, and then you won't have the first exposure being the international World Baseball Classics for some of these players. You're going to start to know their names earlier and more products earlier with their names on them.
Absolutely.
Yep. No, I think it could be a good thing for baseball. It's going to add a little bit more spice to teams that have an opportunity to get some of these players and let these guys actually play their in their good playing years, be able to come over here and showcase their talents, because that's where they belong, to play at the highest level of baseball possible. So
you're starting to see it too with the Japanese players coming over, Darvish and Ohtani being a couple.
Well, that 16-year-old that signed with the Royals.
Yeah, as opposed to, all the, guys from, 15 plus years ago, late 90s, who are all coming over and rookieing as, the Kichiyabus and stuff. They're 31, 32, 33. They get 4 or 5 years in. And, then the other thing, too, is in a free market, we're free to go work wherever we're qualified for, in pursuit of money, right? I mean,
but the reason they put the draft in is the Yankees just went out and signed everybody.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying
it wasn't competitive for anybody else. I mean, think about it. The Yankees would have gone out and signed Harper and all these young kids, and no one would ever have a chance to get them. And the teams that are bad now or have small budgets are always going to be that, because they're never, unless they find a small diamond in the rough that no one's heard of before, the Yankees are just going to go out, sign them, and add them to their team. And
and I'm sure Major League Baseball, because the international signing pool, I think is tiered, if I'm not mistaken. But it's not, baseball's not going to allow certain teams to predominantly just go out and sign the entire top 10 list. But what it does allow is these guys an opportunity to come over in their early to mid 20s, as opposed to the Japanese guys that we mentioned that came over in their early to mid 30s, which they're still human beings. They still have a finite amount of time in order to earn the maximum financial up to their ability. And if we were told that by the time we hit 40 years old, we're no longer allowed to make X amount of dollars, we never can make $100,000 a year ever again after we hit 40. It starts to limit it, and we know that all these players in every sport, the clock is ticking the second that they get drafted or signed.
Yeah. We're talking about Cuban players and stuff and agents and signing money. I heard a story today that Jose Fernandez, the former pitcher of the Miami Marlins,
rest in peace.
He defected and came over, but he played high school ball here. His agent was Scott Boras, right?
Yep.
And when there was an executive with the Marlins that when Fernandez died, he was relaying the story, and it was kind of like behind the scenes, but the Boras had not set up a death clause for him in his contract or any life insurance.
That sucks.
And if this guy is like the best baseball agent out there, like he's the guy you want, you think that would be pretty standard stuff, because this exec said most of the players in baseball have those in their deal.
Well, you look at,
it's crazy, right?
You would imagine that most of these agencies most of these agencies probably have an actuary on payroll. And you saw it with Monte Ellis, you saw it with Ben Roethlisberger, you saw it with Jeff Kent. There have been a lot of examples of players who have injured themselves, Aaron Boone, during their playing days. And, the actuary's job is going to determine what do they do in their normal day-to-day life that's going to determine, the
life insurance, though? Like, you should probably...
You would figure that would be the basic template, right? We all work with paperwork, or have worked with paperwork at some point. We all have a template, and then you cater it to whatever you're working on today. Yeah, you would think life insurance, just like teams have insurance against players.
Yeah, and their contracts. To me, it was just sad. It made no sense, and and the family didn't have any money, so the Marlins picked up the funeral cost, which they might have done anyway, but at the same time, like this. Anyway,
well, there's a difference between having to do it and wanting to do it.
Yeah, I think it's just a sad state as he's got some of the top baseball players and clients out there. So, anyway, I want to move on to a happier subject. We're going to reveal our top 2 releases. Now, these aren't our favorite releases, maybe, but they're our top 2 releases. And then we're going to talk about our bottom 2 releases, and then we're going to talk about our 2 favorite releases. So, Steph, what were your 2 favorite releases this year?
Favorite or top ones?
I'm sorry, top. What are your top 2 releases? What were the best releases you saw this year?
So I got one that we're all going to agree on, and I got a dark horse. Stadium Club, best set every year, greatest photos. The design's sometimes kind of hit and miss year to year, but it's definitely top tier set for me. And then Panini Immaculate. Not that I was trying to pick one from each producer. It's just that they produce, even without the logos, really gorgeous looking cards.
Nice.
Again, sometimes the designs are kind of iffy, but the relics that they use are top tier versus regular 2018 Donruss or other sets. And that's why I included in place of anything else that Topps produced or Donruss produced.
Well, plus they also do baseball and football with the Immaculate.
Exactly.
So, you know,
Right.
if you're a cross collector or a football collector, you have that where they do have the logos.
Ben, what were your top 2 releases this year?
As Steph alluded to, I mean, Immaculate is one of those. It's the king until it's no longer the king. You know, the photo, the imagery that they use is phenomenal compared to a lot of the stock photos that we see time and time again. It's just the card stock is fantastic. You know, countless parallels if that is your thing, but it's just beautiful. You know, when you're flipping through, I mean, even my dad and I were looking at it the other day. I was showing him all the different releases of the year, and as we're going through it, we get to Stadium Club, which is towards the end because on my top binder I alphabetize them based on, you know, archives being first, you know, tribute and triple threads towards the back, and we get there. You
know out the alphabet, even though you went to.
Dude, I got a 4-year-old. He helps me. I'm like, you
know,
good.
So the kids. Gotcha.
So no, but you know, we get to Stadium Club. You know, my dad looked at it and he goes, "Hey, that one looks a little different." He goes, "I like that one." And so even people who are casual collectors or not, you know, can appreciate the fact that they are different, and that's what's really neat. So,
what was your number 2 set?
The other one, only because it's new and we haven't seen anything like this, is Topps Living. And I know that this show has been a big proponent of it, and we're all big fans of it. Although we have our corrections, our things that, you know, like anything we would rather them do or we'd like to see moving forward. At least right now, the only knock I really seriously have on it is I wish they would have went with a slightly different card stock compared to others. Like more something like the Topps Limited set. If you've had one of those in your hands, those ones are really nice. To me, they just seem a little flimsy. But other than that, it is a gorgeous set, and it's really fun to have that as part of our collection now.
Yeah. One of my top sets, my favorite, my best 2 again was Stadium Club, except for that Kershaw This Kids card, which just is really pandering. It was a great set. I ended up building a set from boxes I bought because my LCS had a deal on them for about $50 for a while, so I was buying boxes every so often, and I just love. I've always been a Stadium Club fan, and it was great. It was the first year I put the set together, I think, since '93, and I loved it. So really good looking cards. Topps Living would have made the cut, but the last handful of weeks have been just such trash and garbage. It dropped down out of it. I went with 2000. Well, and see Steph update my notes. 2018-19 Panini Prism Basketball that just came out. Now, Steph put 17-18, and it did come out this year as well. It was towards the end of last year, but the 18-19 product, and the reason being is the draft class and the cards. You have Ayton, you have Bagley, Doncic. There's a handful of other guys that could pop out of this class, and I think that it's going to be a good one, and it's one of the ones to go after if you're going to look away some rookie cards. And you know, I picked up some Bagleys this week in my LCS, and you know they're good cards. I mean, if you like Topps Chrome, then the Prism cards are right up your alley. So those are my.
It's not one that you'll find arguments here from. I mean, even I bought a blaster box. Didn't get much from it, but
yeah, I mean, it's a good little buy. I mean, yeah. So it's been my. Did you get points in there, or did you get a hit?
I got a Ray Allen relic.
Oh, see, there you go. You got a Landy Shamet. Oh, I might have to hit you up on a trade on that one.
Hey, I'll send it to
you. Yeah. So, all right, Steph. What were your bottom 2 releases? What were your toilet releases this year?
Controversial opinion. Top Series 1 and 2.
Wow, what was that again? You said that kind of quick.
Top Series 1 and 2.
Oh, you've been officially fired from the show. You know how much I love Flagship.
Flagship's a great set, but for years it's just been floating on its name. The designs are kind of underwhelming, and really, except for like 15 with the blue border and 11 just because of Trout. There's really not much different year to year. I mean, looking at the white border and seeing, okay, well, is that 13 or is that 14? Is that 15 or 16?
Absolutely.
It's not like the early 2000s where they had the yellow border and the green border and the blue border, where you can definitively tell, or even more so the 70s and 80s sets where you can flip them over and say, okay, the green one goes there, the orange ones go here, the blue ones go there, and I can say that without even looking at the names of the players or anything else, that's an 83, that's an 82, that's a 78, that's a 61. It's just kind of underwhelming. There's not much change year to year. There's a couple inserts that have a couple hundred things that are continuing to update, but there's just really not much.
Yeah, I miss that. I miss the borders, and two, I do miss the different backs. You know how they had the colors back in the day. So
I can't disagree with the points he's made. I mean, obviously we love it because it's flagship. And it has gotten better over the last year or two. But when I first got back into the hobby, 2011, 12, 13, 14, I'm just like, they're so hard to decipher without really knowing, especially in this this day and age where it's kind of what we do is we go with this set and then we move on to the next
week.
Even though you could look back and say, oh, I hate 1975 tops because of the different designs, or I hate 87, I hate 89, I hate 90, I hate this set, but you know what it is? And we all love flagship, but I do think it's gotten a little stagnant, and I think they need to kind of come out with something new that we can all love and appreciate, where when we look back on this 20 years, we go, oh, that's 2019.
Yeah, they need to pull out some of the insert bloat.
Give them some credit for 2015 tops. That was a nice change of pace, but then they quickly reverted back.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Ben, what are your two bottom ones?
There was actually quite a few I considered for this, but the most unnecessary, ridiculous sets that just came out over the last month was Bowman and Topps Holiday. This is the second year of Topps Holiday, if I'm not mistaken. The simple fact that
second or third,
man, I bought 6 cards. I think I've mentioned this. I know I mentioned to you guys personally, but you're buying the snowflake cards, and there's the embossed ones, which are the actual snowflake parallels. And I bought all 6 of the A's, and I got them, and 3 of them were the base design, and 3 of them were the snowflake design. So I hopped on Sport Lots, and I bought the other 3 base and one of the other 3 snowflakes. And I still was looking for Matt Olson and Matt Chapman, and I had to email a series of eBay sellers trying to figure out, oh no, because they had it listed as 2018 Snowflake, but they were really the base one. The proper way is Topps Holiday.
Sure.
With the Snowflake parallel is the proper way to list it. And so many of these people, and I told a lot of people when they responded, no, this is the base. Okay, then you need to change your listing. Otherwise, I'll tell you this, if I'd have bought it, you got to return on your hand over a friggin' 50-cent card, because this is not what I thought I was ordering because you have it mislabeled.
Yeah.
The Bowman was even worse with the white snow and the turkey, parallels, and then they had the actual turkey, elf, and Santa Claus inserts. It's just like, and those were neat. They're novel. It's there. So yeah, you might want to collect it. Maybe not. They kind of grew on me over time, but it's one of those things that they made it so you might collect it. But come on, man, they were just both crap products. Literally, they're trying to get our holiday money.
Right.
And they were just, I mean, there are products, like this new Brooklyn crap that's coming out, the Montgomery sets. Right. That are like, really, those designs are horrible and hideous, but I get the idea behind the set. Bowman and Topps Holiday, I mean, the sets weren't anything new. They were just the base designs with,
Snow.
Bowman Holiday in the corner and some snowflakes on them at the tops. They were horrible, and no thanks. I mean, I bought them, and I'll buy them again next year, but we don't need them.
You won't like it.
I hate it.
My bottom two were 17-18 Panini Vanguard basketball. And out of all the millions of 17-18 basketball releases they had, this was the worst. I mean, there's bad looking cards, bad photos, not of value to purchase.
And kind of disappointing considering the Vanguard name.
Yeah.
They had a few releases in the late 90s with that. I think baseball and maybe football, but gorgeous looking cards. And I didn't
not live up to the name. No. It trashed a good name. So not a fan of that. And then also 2018 Topps Archive Signatures, any of the series, that basically what we call the TTM set, where they got cards signed and then put in top loaders. And
you kind of tipped my hat there a little bit. I'll be mentioning that set later.
Yeah, one of my least favorite. So not a good one. Not who cares? It's $40. You're getting an autographed card of Jim Ganter,
Cliff Floyd.
Yeah, Cliff Floyd, Jim Ganter, Roy Smalley.
Hey.
So, Steph, what were your two? Let's get back on a good note here. What were your two favorite leases? If you had all the money in the world, this is what you're spending your money on.
One discount and one an all-time favorite. Topps Big League came out this year. Kind of surprised us all. It's kind of what a set should be. It's fun. It's cheap. There's not all that much to collect. There's not a huge insert bloat. And the cards just look fun and look cool. And they didn't carry on the 90s legacy of being slightly oversized like the 50s Topps and Bowman cards. But I think it was a nice decision to run with that set. Replacing Topps Bunt from 16 and 17. And Diamond Kings. I mean, that's going to be my answer every year. I buy way too much of it. And chasing, for 40, 50, 60 bucks, whatever the set retails for at the time, 80, 90 even, getting a Hall of Fame player, even a lesser known, like a Jim Eckersley or
Bill Jim Eckersley.
Being able to pull someone like that, or a 50s, 60s legend that you may not have heard of, or a 30s player who you didn't know at the time, but come to find out the cut auto is from a guy who once held the rookie home run record. Or some of the ones that I've overly talked about. But it's just my favorite set each year.
Well, Brian Bice agrees with you. Yes, I agree with Big League. It was one of the best new products of the year. So
absolutely.
But he's an ace collector, so it's a discounted.
Yeah, we're kind of the repack, target repack.
Yeah,
you can get
what was that? Fairfield. You're the Fairfield collection of hobbyists.
Fair collector.
That's right.
Ben, what were your two faves? What were you spending all your pennies on?
I want to throw a little bit of a curveball. I know that I'd mentioned in the group chat that I was going to say Stadium Club, but we covered that, and I think we all agree that it's a ridiculously popular and great set. So instead of
in real quick, the other thing I liked about it, the on-card autos.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're phenomenal. And instead of getting back into Stadium Club, I mean, it is one of my favorite sets. It's probably the favorite set of the year. One I went with was Topps Fire, and it's going to be a little bit of a surprise because I know a lot of people in the hobby, especially if you're in any Facebook groups, they absolutely despise this set. And I think it's fun. I think it would actually do better if they moved it into hobby and put archives permanently at retail. I think we mentioned that in the past as well. Yeah. Topps Fire to me is a fun set. I like the parallels. I think that it's not an expensive set. If it's something that you like. The only issue I had with this year was that the checklist came out like 4 days after it released, and it was a surprise. Everybody's like, when did Topps Fire drop? And then the other one, and I do have to agree with Steph, Big League Baseball was a much better. I loved Bunt. I loved Bunt, although it was extremely hard once again on eBay to figure out what you were buying because not everybody was putting the word physical card in the title. So it did create a lot of complications when you were trying to search out cards. The other one I went with instead of Stadium Club is actually Topps Gallery, another retail release. I think it might do well in hobby, but what I'd like to see them do with Gallery would be a little bit more of what Upper Deck did with Masterpieces years ago. And have kind of that raised feel to it.
Sure.
Or take Gallery and drop it in and have it be like a insert or One per jumbo box in flagship.
They did that.
You can do that too.
Let's say 2007, 2008, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, gallery is really nice. Now, I will say this: not all of the artwork is on par. Some of the cards look so much better than others. There are some. I think it was Cody Bellinger looks absolutely horrible. So it's kind of hit or miss with the artwork, but overall, it's a really nice set. I like the wood canvas parallels. I like the green parallels, which are numbered out of 99. So again, it's a lower end if you're just looking to go out and get your favorite players or favorite teams, build a team set. It's extremely affordable. And it's fun, to me, it's different. Before Tim, you go to yours, there is one other set I want to throw a shout out to, which is a parallel. It's a parallel. So that this is why it didn't become a favorite set. The tops, well, I guess it's depending, not semantics, because I think they released it as its own box this year. The top's Chrome Sapphire, which I still count as a parallel, even though it was packed out this year instead of last year. Years prior, they sold it as a complete set. Man, the Sapphire cards are beautiful in person. If you haven't seen them in person, pick one up. They are awesome. And so I want to make sure we kind of threw a shout out to Sapphire too.
Nice. Yeah, my two favorite, and Steph and I disagree because his garbage is my treasure. Flagship. I mean, I've always enjoyed Flagship, and I think it just takes it back to, like being a kid busting packs, going through and building the set. I think that's where I get my enjoyment in every release.
Sure.
Is to me, it's like takes me back to why I started this hobby and why I even got back into it. It's always fun for me. Plus, I had some really good luck this year, especially with the update pulling Soto Auto. I was super excited. And then I've been in my son, I've said this a million times, but he was born this year in April. So I've been putting one hobby box aside from each of those releases and a little note on the bottom of it to tell him kind of what's going on with him and what's going on at the time. And
sure,
when he gets old enough, one day I'll give him to him and he can decide if he wants to open them or save them. And he's got a factory set, and I built an update set for him and set that aside with notes, and he can decide what he wants to do with them. But these notes are for me, and hopefully he appreciates them like I think he hopefully will. But we'll see what I can do as far as making him a collector. He loves watching he's 8 months old and he loves watching football, so I'm already very excited about that. He gets really excited when football's on.
Show topic for a future show. Should they rename Topps Update Series 3?
Yes,
yes.
But we can get into that.
Yeah. That's a little off-season topic. I like it. I listed Stadium Club again, but also to give a shout-out to Topps Archives this year. Sure. And the biggest reason I'm putting on this, and it's not because of the way they released it, but it's because of the Sandlot cards.
Right.
The year before they did Bull Durham. This year they did Sandlot. I hope they do Field of Dreams. I know they did the Major League as well. I would love to see all of those. Amazing. I really loved the Sandlot. Was one of my favorite movies growing up. This set was cool. The chances of getting the autographs were awesome. So that's why I loved Archives this year. The set itself, it's okay. But the Sandlot insert set is really what got me excited. Built it super quick. What's up?
Can we get a Little Big League set?
Little Big League, yeah.
Little Big League. It's going to be that. I would go all out for that one.
Yeah. Little Big League is a great movie.
Luke Collins.
Luke Collins autograph. Timothy Busfield's Snacktown hero. Luke Collins autograph. Let's get it done. We got to we got to keep Archives around a couple more years so we can get these.
So, I've picked up Dule Hill auto from Psych and a Rob Lowe auto from Parks and Rec. Kind of rebuilding the West Wing autos one by one. And so I've got to have Luke Collins because it's going to be a baseball, which is great. But Timothy Busfield was Danny Kincannon in the West Wing. So it's it's going to be a little different than it being from a comedy series. So I can't wait to have that. And he's local guy. I think he owns the Crest Theater still downtown in Sacramento.
Good guy from what I hear. And he reminds me of one of my parents' friends. I don't know.
You gotta get Jerry. You gotta get Jerry. I'm supposed to be telling my wife it's okay because you have my baseball card.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta give him.
Chris Torres just missed the first hour. Once a recap, we talked about how terrible the Seattle Mariners are and how awesome the Angels are. No, I did talk about I want to buy a Mariners hat to. I don't know if I talked about that, but I want to buy all the AL West hats and just wear them whenever they're playing against the A's just to piss Ben off. So I need a Mariners, Rangers, and Astros hat. But no, Chris, you have to listen to the podcast or watch this after the show's over. He's signing off now. We love the Mariners and Jared Kelenic. You better start collecting him. He's going to be your future. And the last thing we're going to get into real quick is our hobby Christmas list. So, things as nerds that we want to collect for the hobby, for ourselves that we always look for, have on the list, or, good collectibles. Mine kind of covers both. But Ben, what is on your hobby Christmas list? And on here it says a nudie of Tim, which he has. So I don't know why it's still on his list.
Well, because I need more than one.
Oh, well, I'll send you a Kirby nudie, more Kirby titties for you.
That's right.
Steph has missed all the Kirby titties talk.
I know all about it.
Yeah, I got a couple of early Christmas gifts from my dad, which are the 1964 stand-ups.
Oh,
we ended up picking up one at a local card shop in Cameron Park, California. And
there again without me, you SOB.
No, that was the last one, which I think we mentioned, and we picked up one of the 4 on the checklist, and so he went and bought the other 3, and he's like, dude, he's like, in case I die or in case, because he's moving in with us, he's like, I don't want these to get lost, so let me just give them to you now. But I gave him a list of some tobacco cards I was after and some cards from the 1930s. And then I gave my wife a list from the 1940s. And I also asked my wife for the minor league Ricky Henderson card from 1979. So I kind of gave them competing lists of different stuff so that if she got me some stuff and he got me some stuff, it can kind of fill in the holes of anything pre-war is really, or, pre-tops, I guess is a better way of saying it. Because I've got a lot of stuff from, the batter up stuff and some of the Leaf from the late 40s that I'm still missing a handful of. So, and then of course, it's like if you need an extra gift and you want to spend $15, go buy me a lot of McGuire rookies.
Sure. Nice. All the 87s.
Every of the 87.
All of them.
Steph, what's on your list?
I
bet it will real quick. Is it a bunch of Kirk Cousins autographs?
It's not.
John D. Filippo.
This ain't it, Chief. No. No, I kind of went a bit more sparse than just cards, but kind of had a reason to it. 1997 unopened packs. There's a few left that I need. Just mostly sparse random hits. Like I got this one here in the mail recently. I don't know. I'll find it. But I want to finish off my birthday year set. Have one of each pack, one of each box, one of each.
That's so funny. What you're doing is because that was the first year I collected. I'm doing one of each as well.
Sure.
And I have one holiday complete set. I have one hand collated complete set I made with my dad. There you go.
That knocked off a need. 87 Topps Baseball yearbook stickers. But it's a cheap, something easy to knock off. For the most part, me and the wife mostly splurged on video game stuff this year. But if I were to create my list today, this is what would be on it. Also, I'm missing. I have a Killer Brew and I have a pocket ball. I think I have a Herbeck ball, but I'd like to knock out Tony Oliva and Rod Carew while they're still living. I've had Tonio's subs. Absolutely recommended if you make it to Target Field, guys. Perfect. As well, the 87-91 World Series teams. Try to knock out some of their autographs. And then 2 personal ones. Joe Mauer, I realized earlier when I was looking at my collection, I actually don't have an autograph of his. And with his recent retirement, some of the stuff might be easier to pick up or more expensive to pick up right now. So maybe it'll wait. But and the other one, and like I said, Tim kind of jumped the gun on me. Topps Archives auto for Brad Ratke. He had a few autographs this year, and he doesn't have many auto mem sets. I think before this release, he had like 14 on Beckett and Comte. Just not a huge signer. Although I met him in person, and I got him to sign the 2002 Topps as well as Torrey Hunter. Same day.
You have to have a Radke. For anybody that doesn't know how well, fan favorites. Mm-hmm. So anybody that doesn't know exactly how Stefan and I become best of friends was part of it when we first got together on Twitter and started following one another. Was there was a lot of arguments about Puckett's Hall of Fame status. And then we were also arguing about, how great Brad Radke was or lack thereof. And then it became Bradke, #Bradke. And for a long time, there was, just kind of an inside joke about us over Brad Radke. And I remember there was a video game sometime in the 90s or something like that where he'd given up 30 home runs the year earlier. And so there was like a tongue-in-cheek comment of him watching yet another home run go out over his shoulder, and he has a kind of a blank stare, and it was funny. That's how I remember Radke. Just giving up a lot of runs.
It's one of those that he was either known as being a great innings eater type, or give up 5-6 runs in the first inning, and you never knew which version you would get. And in particular, me and Ben, we'd always rant about the 2006 team. They got shafted with the AL MVP, the AL batting title leader, and the AL Cy Young unanimous, I think, and Johan Santana and Justin Morneau. But Bradke took the last month of that season off, I want to say, was essentially pitched on 2 torn labrums, and damn near beat the A's in the playoffs that year. To just come back from somebody who has severe shoulder issues himself, it's one of those that I absolutely have to pick up one of these.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Well, he really is, to me, the epitome of the Archives fan favorite. Right. For Oakland fans, A's fans, Carney Lansford would be one. Bob Welch would be another.
Well, not Bob Welch anymore, bro.
Well, yeah, may he rest in peace. I got the Bob Welch commemorative patch because it's BW, which are also my initials, so it's kind of neat. But
my wiper.
For the Royals, who would you say is the epitome of?
I got to pick up a Willie Wilson this year.
Evan Apier.
Apier, Willie Wilson,
Mike Sweeney,
Gubitska.
Mike Gubazaw.
Yeah, that one.
Because when you start to get to like somebody like say a Brett Saberhagen, definitely Bo Jackson. To me, those are too big of names.
Yeah,
they kind of get past the fan favorites.
Cookie Rojas would be a big one.
Sure.
Amos Otis, John Mayberry, some of the guys early on. Dennis Leonard, some of the early,
Quiz.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, can't get.
Well, he can't be there, but we're just trying to talk about the guys.
Yeah, so some of the early, the real early Royals would have been awesome.
Twins, you could basically say anybody outside of Jack Morris on the 1987 championship team. Dan Gladden, Gary Gaetti, Greg Gagne.
Was on 91
or 91.
Know your facts if you're going to be on this show.
Your homework, but. When you start to look at each team, we could probably maybe that's something we could talk about. Some of the great, for me, the guy they haven't made yet is Julio Franco. At least I don't think they've had him, and he was always a fan favorite. I think just because of his batting stance and the fact that he was still playing today. He's like 87 years old.
Yeah,
right.
Brian put in here Kevin Seitzer. I have a Kevin Seitzer auto, but Kevin Seitzer sucks. Just anyway, my favorite for the hobby, my hobby Christmas list is, and I put this on with the Britney Spears meme last week. I think it was the week with pages, one touches, plastic dividers, top loaders, and binders. And whenever I send these links to like my family when they ask me for gifts. I'll send out an eBay link or Amazon link of this stuff. I get back, really? Or why? I mean, my mom bought me a case of Pages for my birthday last year and said, I don't know what I bought, but here it is. And it's just really heavy. And I love it. I still have 2 boxes left. I mean, it was 1,000 pages. I'm down to 2 boxes. I need to grab another one. But I mean, I love them. It's stuff that I want. Yeah, but stuff I want, but I don't. I much rather spend my extra money on cards than supplies. But I need these things to protect them.
You know what that's the equivalent to is 2 things, and the first one being Christmas related is needing pages and binders and stuff, sleeves and it is the equivalent of I need picture frames because I'm giving everybody pictures of my kids this year. I need Christmas paper. I need gift boxes and gift bags and tissue and tape. That stuff's expensive. Go to the grocery store and buy your groceries for 2 weeks, right? You're gonna plan out all your meals, and then you're gonna realize, dang it, I need garlic, I need salt, I need ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise and dressing. And the next thing you know, you just added $40 like that to your shopping list. It's the condiments. It's the wrapping paper of the hobby. It's the stuff that just financially drains you, but it's a necessary evil.
It's built way I like to protect and show off my collection. So,
I'm a
little bit of a snob, and I prefer Ultra Pro. Now the binders I get are Amazon binders, Amazon basic binders, because you can get them in bulk, and they fit well on my shelf, and I can make my own insert and put it in there. But I'm a tad of snob when it comes to Pages. They have to be Ultra Pro Platinum.
Sure. Well, it's a lot easier asking mom for binders than it is to go out and look for. I was talking to Heather, and she's like, I said something about a card. She's like, I bought you a tobacco card. It was $2. She goes, do you think it's a reprint? And I'm like, yes, dear. I appreciate it. That's the other thing
too, is I saw some talk on Twitter, and it's not getting your family ripped off, like your family members that don't collect and getting ripped off.
Yeah.
And so they go in somewhere and they're like, oh man, 87 Topps complete set, $55. Yeah, you know what? I'll grab that for Ben for Christmas. And Ben gets it. He's like, thanks.
No, it's a big deal. It's like that's why a lot of these cards that I asked my wife and my dad for, I sent them auction links,
and that's the best way to do it.
And my dad's been around enough to where he's smart enough to know better. So apparently, I'm getting a reprint T206 for $2.
Hey.
But yeah, it's a lot easier asking family members, especially extended family members, where you're on a budget. I'm not buying aunt and uncle hundreds of dollars worth of presents. I'm going to buy them maybe $10 to $15 a piece. Sure. They both get, and for her, I can give her a picture of the kids. For him, he's a baseball card collector. Let me buy him a box of sleeves or One Touches penny sleeves, binder, whatever he's into, and then he can fill them up with whatever he wants. Makes it.
He's protecting stuff he likes, and
it's practical. It's practical, and you're not going to get him ripped off that way.
Yep.
Because you mentioned it, Tim, and CRT Sports Cards mentioned it. Julio Cesar Franco has 663 cards according to Beckett, 3 memorabilia, 1 rookie, 36 autoed cards, and 121 serials.
Yeah, last time I looked up Julio, I didn't see anything other than 8x10s, but that was a while back, and I wasn't really doing
last auto.
I just wanted to see if he had a fan favorite, because those are really nice.
Yeah, those are neat cards.
Donner's Timeline, Donner's Classic, Diamond Kings, Absolute Memorabilia, and 1996 Leaf Signature.
The Leaf Signature ones are nice, and that's an extensive checklist too.
Brad Recchi.
Yeah, so is Raphael Bornagel for the A's.
Right.
When I was making my
when
I was making my checklist, man, I was like, I don't need all these. I just need that's what's nice about fan favorites. This year they did Matt Stairs and Terry Steinbach for the A's.
Mm-hmm.
And what's fun about the fan favorites, though, is some of the guys we mentioned from our teams is I would also go after a Willie Wilson.
I'd debate with Terry Steinbach.
Well, yeah, for you and I have the connection because he's a hometown kid from Minnesota, but he also spent a significant amount of time with the Twins, and and he was part of the organization after he retired, if not still. And you know, that's what's fun about fan favorites is we all had fan favorites that were not part of our team. And that's what I love about that. That's the only reason. That's really the only reason I want Archives to stick around for a while.
Yep. Well, guys, that's it tonight. We'll be back next Wednesday, the 26th, the day after Christmas. So hopefully, I'll be able to talk about all the binders and pages and things I have. I don't know. We'll see. And we'll cover the new releases, and we'll cover Tops Living. We'll hopefully have a couple weeks worth of numbers to share with you. And there's a couple other topics, but if you have one you want to share with us, let us know.
Sure.
And hit us up, and we'll cover it. We love that stuff. So remember, we're always live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and review to our show on YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher. You can follow us at About the Cards on Twitter. Also follow Ben at Our Trading Cards. Follow Steph at Junkwax Twins. You can always follow me, Big Ship 79. So we appreciate it. We're glad to have Steph back this week. He missed our longest show ever 2 weeks ago, and then one of our shortest shows last week.
Couldn't keep you guys on track.
Yeah, we need you back. We're back to about our average time tonight, so thank you, Steph. We missed you, and we're glad to have you. Everyone have a great holiday. Enjoy, be safe, and share with us what you get, and we'll talk about it next week. Until then, have a good night, everybody.
Good night, all.
Good night. Love you.